Hello and welcome to another night of racing here at the TNGTC, the Thursday Night GT Championship by RaceDepartment on Project Cars 2 for PS4. My name is Frank, and once again I will be your commentator for tonight. Tonight we will be racing at Donington Park in the UK, and this is a known track for the drivers in the TNGTC. So this is the 20-minute warm-up, and well, actually it's just the qualifying session. The drivers will be able to do a warm-up because it's 20 minutes. That's long enough to do several stints, a couple of laps each time, and we will follow the different drivers through their qualifying. As you can see, there are 13 drivers tonight, along with a couple of our new drivers, Robert G plus 1 up, Doko 1983. Those are both new drivers. They had their first race last week at Zhuhai. They didn't finish their race, so hopefully they will tonight. So let's go to the field and check out the different drivers. Let's go through a couple of the drivers. Here we are with Jamie F430 driving the Bentley Continental. Coming through the last part of the track, the Melbourne hairpin. And his lights are on, which means he will try and set a fast lap once he crosses the finish line. So there he goes, and it's on for Jamie in his number 8A Bentley. I'll take you through the track. We just had turn 1 red gate. Right now he is at the Craner curves, and this is called the old hairpin, even though it's not a hairpin. Starkey's Bridge, going upwards up to McLaren, tight right-hander, further upwards into Coppice, and then this is not Starkey's Bridge, but Starkey Straight. This is the back straight, and here comes the difference between the GP layout, which we are doing tonight. That's the S's, and this is the GP part. There's also a national circuit, and then you turn right at the S's back onto the start-finish straight. So final turn again for Jamie, and let's see what time he will do now. That's a current 6th position for Jamie in a 1:27.0. Fastest time right now has been set by 26 flat, and closely followed by Adam Morris right now, who just set the second. And behind him we have AMH Racing. That's Andrew. Also in an Audi, the number 33. He is currently in 3rd position. only a few thousandths behind Adam, which is RDF1 Adam Morris, and of course RD stands for Race Department, because we are a part of the Race Department League, and you can find us on RaceDepartment.com. Just search the threads for TNGTC, which stands for Thursday Night GT Championship. If you're interested, don't be afraid to browse around on the forums, and you can always sign up, practice with a couple of us during the week. If you are fast enough, you can join us during the races, although this season is almost over. It's just a couple more races to go. And after that, we will go to e-racing. No, that's just, this is of course sort of esports. We won't be going to EGT3. Here we have Adam with another lap to see if he can beat Gaz. Back to Andrew. Andrew is now at the old hairpin. And as usual, we have a hotspot, and the hotspot is the S's turn 9. And I will show you those in a couple of seconds. Here is Andrew entering the S's. You can cut quite a bit there, so since we are not having the rules switched on, we have a couple of hotspots, and that is the place where you can really cut and gain a lot of time. Okay, let's see who's out there. Scooby is in the pits. Here we have another Audi, which is Boy Raxer 14, also known as Benji. And Benji is the teammate of RDF1 Adam Morris. And they are driving for Snakes Unite Racing. And he was in 5th, is now pushed back to the 6th position by Liam, which is the driver in this Audi. As you can see, there are a lot of Audis. Top 5 is all Audi. Scooby is the fastest, PS Scooby 555. He is the fastest non-Audi driver, and he is doing that in a GTR. There are a couple of pretty long straights here, so the GTR will do very well at this track, except for maybe the last sector. The S's are quite tight, and of course both the hairpin and the last turn Goddards are, well, not the best kind of corners for a GTR. So PS Scooby currently in 5th place, only 3/10, just under 4/10 slower than Gaz. So those are all pretty competitive times. Benji we've seen so far. Jamie now currently in 7th. You can see there's quite a gap between 6th and 7th position. Here we are with Ben Milden in the other GTR. Currently in 8th place, 127.2. Ben is a veteran driver in the TNGTC. And he has driven quite a lot of different cars. So he's a pretty much an all-round driver. Very fast though. And he did improve his own time by 7/10 and is now in 7th position, beating Jamie and only half a second slower than Gaz. So there you can see that the top 7 is within half a second of each other. Let's go further down the grid to see who's there. Here is the yellow DHL Ferrari, driven by Skanky Puppy, also known as Matt, in the 31 livery. Matt is also a very fast driver. Don't know if he has pulled out a fast lap yet, but he's currently 1.5 seconds behind Gaz. Gone a bit wide there. And here we have some guys in the pits. And this is Robert G plus 1 up. One of the new drivers, like I said at the beginning of this qualifying session. This is Robert's second race in the TNGTC. Last week at Zhuhai was his first. Sadly, he didn't finish it, so I sure hope he will finish it tonight. And here we have his teammate, Doko 1983, also joined the TNGTC last race. They are driving the Hot Wheels livery Audis, so practically half of the field is Audi. Then we have two guys in the pits. P. Scott Live 85, also known as Paul Scott. Paul is currently in the pits in his 55 Ferrari. He's a fairly new driver, joined this season, and is currently in 11th place, 1.9 seconds behind the race leader. And we have Jeremy, who's also in a GTR tonight. So apparently he made a switch and is now in the 22 livery, the black GTR. 1.8 seconds behind the race leader. Here you can see back to Ben Milden in 7th place that he improved his own time. Got it down to a 126.4. Less than a half a second off of Gaz. Meanwhile, the other guys in front didn't improve their times. Gaz is still on 126.0. Adam 81 thousandths behind, and Andrew AMH Racing only 1/10 behind Gaz, so that's all pretty close. PS Scooby, Nathan, currently in 5th, still the fastest non-Audi driver. So as you can see here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Audis. So that's 7 out of 13. So that's over half of the field in an Audi. It is the most handleable. It just handles very well, takes corners very well. So overall, it's probably the best car. But then there are some guys that just like to try another car. Before Project Cars 2, we did a couple of seasons on the first Project Cars game, and in the last 2-3 seasons, almost everyone drove the BMW M3 because it was the all-round fastest and best car. So it's almost a one-make series, and we like to see a bit more different cars on track. So yeah, there's half of it is Audi, but we've got a few Ferraris, we've got a few GTRs. And that's about it. And of course, here we have it, the Bentley. Jamie always likes to be the odd one out. Try to prove to everyone that you don't need to be in the most popular car to be fast. The Bentley does sound awesome. Oh, and he spun it there. Just wanted to switch the view. Oh, and another spin and crash. That's a hard one. And we have a new fastest time currently in the pits, but Andrew just did a 1:25.8, so he's the first tonight to go under 1 minute 26. And of course, Gaz won't leave it at that, so let's switch to Gaz. And he also got into the pits. What is Adam Moore going to do? Well, let's join him inside in the cockpit for a full lap around Donington Park GP. So once again, that was red gate, turn 1. Here are the cranial curves and the old hairpin. Going up to turn 5 and 6, Starkey's Bridge, uphill, tight right, McLean's. This is a tricky corner, Coppice. And then it's full throttle all the way across Starkey Straight. A bit downhill and into the S's. Watch not to cut like that. And Melbourne hairpin. And qualifying is officially over. We had 20 minutes of qualifying, and now there are just over 80 seconds remaining. As you can see, everyone is in the pits, almost everyone. Here we are on board with Ben Milton in the GT3, going through the S's, going for a final attempt to improve his time and position, and cut a bit there probably. And nope. So that's it. Everyone in the pits. So that means that Andrew, AMH Racing, got pole position with a 125.8, followed by Gaz in second. PS Scooby. So Nathan is in the GTR in third place. That's very impressive. Liam. Now I see that's my timing going off again. That's Adam Morris in third, Benji in fifth, then Nathan in Adam in third, Benji in fourth, Nathan in fifth, Liam sixth in the Audi, Ben Millen seventh in the GTR, Jamie in the Bentley in eighth place, Skanky Puppy in the Ferrari in ninth, Jeremy in 10th in another GTR, Paul Scott in the Ferrari in 11th place, Robert G. Plus one up, 12th, and Doko 1983 in 13th. And that's the whole grid. So there we have it. The top four is all Audi. Then we have a GTR, another Audi, GTR, Bentley, Ferrari, GTR, Ferrari, Audi. So now we will have to wait for less than 2 minutes for the race to begin. And in those 2 minutes, all drivers have time to set all their settings right. So set the right amount of fuel. And of course the pit strategies, which are very important. This is the feature race, 28 laps, and there is one mandatory pit stop. You don't necessarily need to refuel, but you do need to come in for a pit stop for new tires. Everyone just simply fills it up at the start of the race so they can do a full race on one tank. Refueling is just going too slow. And if everyone's done and the 2 minutes are up, we will start racing at Donington Park. This is a pretty old track. The first race here in real life was held in 1931, back in the day. We are ready to start. And the lights are off, and Adam has a good start. All the Audis have a good start. You can see Scooby is a bit behind. Turn one is a pretty tricky one, but everyone got through it in a decent way. And here we are, and there is Adam currently in second. It's hard to see the difference between all those Audis. Those liveries are very much alike. And Adam is now even leading the race. On the inside, Adam in the number 1 Audi, Andrew in the number 33. So it's hard to tell. Try to watch it from the rear wings. Whoa, and there's a crash. And who is off? That's Andrew. So that's from first to last. And also Adam lost a couple of positions there. And it's now his teammate Benji who is in first place in the 28 Audi. Adam took back second place from Gaz. And I wanted to say that you could see the difference between all the cars by their rear wings. You can see that Adam has a dark rear wing, a black one. Benji, who is currently leading the race, has the bright green one. And Andrew in the back has a white or light gray. But that's not really important right now. Let's go back to the action in the front, where Liam and Nathan are battling it out for fourth place. And right in front of him is Gaz. So this is a battle for third. And Ben Milton in the GTR, currently in sixth, is very close. So one small mistake could mean that you have to go to the back of the pack. And I want to show you this. Robert G plus 1 up just went up a lot of places in that first lap. He started 12th and is now in 7th place. So let's hope he can keep that up and score some nice points for the first time in his TNGTC career. Let's head back to the front, where Benji is still leading the race. Boy Raxer 14. And he has a lead of almost a second on his teammate. And that was Jamie on the side. And he is standing still. He had to let past a lot of people there. So that's the danger of spinning out at the start of the race. Once you spin out, lose control, get on the grass, you'll probably end up at the back of the grid. Meanwhile, the Snakes Unite Racing drivers are leading the race, and Gaz is now over 2 seconds away from the guys in front, and this is still a fierce battle for third place. And here you can see that Gaz is in third, Liam is in sixth, and those two drivers are teammates for Spam Freightos Racing, but they are divided by the Godzilla Racing guys, both the GTR drivers of that team. So they are very fast in the GTRs around this track, especially on that front and back straight. They are very dangerous to those Audis. and Rob has started pushing, and he is very close to Knight in the GTR, and right behind him is Doko 1983. He started last, but is currently in 9th place, and that's probably because the guys behind him. Here we have Paul Scott, Skanky Puppy, and we've seen Andrew and Jamie spin out. Jamie decides to step out for a bit, and I assume that Skanky Puppy and Paul Scott also spun out somewhere. And we have Liam, who has spun. He was very close to Ben Milden half a lap ago, but is now in 9th place. So the Snakes Unite Racing drivers are still close to each other. And Benji is still leading the race, while Gaz is still under attack by PS Scooby. Nathan is doing very well in that GTR around Donington. And for a couple of TNGTC drivers, it's the second race. Well, not specifically in this season, but a couple of weeks ago there was a special team versus team race, or actually 2 races, between Race Department and Next Gen Racing, set up by Next Gen, and those were 2 races. One race was chosen by the one team, and the Race Department guys, which were all TNGTC drivers, chose for a GT3 race at Spa, which was won by points by the TNGTC drivers. After that, there was a race chosen by Next Gen, and they chose for a Clio Cup race at Donington. The only big difference was that it was the national layout and not the GP layout. But that was a 20-minute race, so the TNGTC drivers already got some practice, even though it was in the Clios. But let's head back to the race where Scooby is still on the tail of Gaz. And the Snakes Unite racers are still head to tail and bumper to bumper. So here's the view from Adam's Audi, the number 1 R8 GT3. And I don't think we are going to see a big battle between these 2 teammates. There's just too much at stake for the championship, and they are pretty much equally fast. It's not like Adam is very much, a lot of sorry about that. He is not a lot faster. So as long as they can get away from gas, which is the case, because their lead has gone up to over 4.5 seconds. Going back to the middle of the field. And meanwhile, we have lost one driver. There are only 12 on the board left, so we have lost Jamie. We saw him standing still on the grass, close to the old hairpin, and he probably retired because of that. That's a shame, only 12 left. And meanwhile, we are watching Robert, who is still chasing Knight. And let's see if he will get any closer to Knight. Although I kind of doubt it. Like I said earlier, the Audi is very good through the corners, but it won't match the power and top speed on the straights from the GTR. And here, the situation is the other way around. Here is a GTR chasing an Audi. And Gaz is a very, very good and consistent driver, very fast. So he will probably be able to hold off that GTR, because those straights are pretty long, but it's hard to overtake. And that second sector is also very hard. Doesn't look like it, but it's not that wide of a track. And with all those corners left and right, left and right, left and right, it's hard to overtake, especially at this part of the track. He is getting close, but there's nowhere to overtake, and Gaz is just trying to make himself as wide as possible. And if Scooby has a good exit here, he might be able to make an attack, and he is very close. So let's see from the cockpit. Gaz is defending the inside through the S's. You can see that GTR power getting close, even in a short part like that. That was a close hit. Maybe. I don't know. Could be a light thud. Lost a bit of distance there. Going a bit wide there, losing time. And you can see Gaz immediately pulling away there. This is the part of the track where the Audi is better. You can see here that GTR power gets him closer and closer to Gaz every corner. Stoco 1983. One of the new guys. Currently in 10th with Skanky and Andrew behind him. Now the big question is, did Andrew have any damage to the car? Because he was on pole position, he was in first place, and then there was contact between him and Adam, which cost Andrew, well, the race, because he was in first, and a couple of seconds later he was last. Not able to catch up. There's 14 seconds, almost 15 seconds between him and Matt. So maybe he can go for an undercut and try to make up a couple of places. But I don't think he will end up very much higher than maybe 7th, 8th place. And meanwhile, we have a battle between Liam and Rob. Or I should say Robert, actually. Robert defending his position against Liam, but lost it out. Here we have Liam in 7th place. Of course, he would like to go back to that battle for 3rd place, but he is out of the equation, and Gaz is in the pits in lap 13. Was to be expected for the first couple of pit stops, and he is trying to go for the undercut. There he goes. So let's see, here are the GTR drivers. So it's now actually a 3, 4, and 5 for the GTR drivers, although there is a gap of 9 seconds between Knight and PS Scooby. And here both Godzilla Racing drivers are coming through the final sector, final turn. Will they go in? Ben is. So Scooby's going for another lap, and also Adam is in the pits, just leaving. Just saw Andrew coming out of the pits. Liam is also going for his pit stop. And Adam is back on track and gets out just in front of Paul, who has still has got to do his pit stop. Meanwhile, Benji is still out there. Will he stay out for the next lap? We will see in 2 more turns. Going through the Melbourne hairpin onto Goddard's. And yes, he is coming in as well. So now our eye should be out for Gaz. Gaz is currently just behind Ben. So is that already his pit stop advantage? So then I guess his undercut didn't work, because he was leading the battle for third and has the two GTRs now in front of him. Paul Scott is coming into the pits. Currently leading the race, Paul Scott in the GTR, but he still has to pit. So will he go for another lap, or does he turn into the pits after this final turn? And he comes into the pits. Okay, so now we have, almost had, there he is, another GTR in the lead. Knight is currently leading the race, so he still has to come into the pits. There are Benji and Adam, both still in virtual first and second position. And there we have a battle between the GTR drivers, with Gaz close behind. You can see PS Scooby just slowly getting away from his own teammate, making the gap to Gaz, who is now in 6th place, even bigger. And Jeremy has entered the pits, and we just missed the battle. Adam has taken over first place, shoved his own teammate aside, or maybe Benji made a mistake, and Adam profited from that. So currently leading the race now is RDF1 Adam Morris. Well, he finished the race in first. There are still 10 laps to go. So there's still quite the distance, and Benji is right on his tail. They are teammates, but if they have the chance, they will definitely go for that first place, because there's still the driver championship next to the team constructors championship. And if we take a look at the Drivers' Championship, is currently leading Gaz, and he's leading with a total of 388 points. In second place is Oz, but he hasn't driven for the last 4 races. He's not able to drive on Thursday night anymore, sadly, because he was leading the championship before that. And in third place we have Ben Milton in the GTR. There's a gap of 116 points between him and Gaz, so yeah, it's not sure yet what will happen, but after this there are only 3 more races left. Next week is Imola. The week after that is Road America, and we will finish with a 2-hour endurance race at Daytona. So, well, anything can still happen, but a gap of 116 points is fairly large. In fourth place is Benji, who is now currently in second place in the race. Benji has a total of 251 points. Liam is only 2 points behind him, 249 points. And Benji's teammate Adam is 10 points behind that with 239, so that's pretty close. And if Adam would win this race, it would get him closer to his own teammate. And if we look at the Constructors' Championship, we can see that Spam Fritters Racing, which are Gaz and Liam, are currently leading the championship with 637 points. Second are Godzilla Racing, which are Ben Milton and PS Scooby, with 509 points. So that is a difference that is doable with 2 drivers scoring points in 2 races each week. Well, there is a possibility that they will get close to the Spam Fritters guys, because right now they are both in front of the Spam Fritters Racing drivers. Gaz and Liam are now in 5th and 6th, and Scooby and Ben Milton are now in 3rd and 4th. Meanwhile, we have lost another driver. There are now only 11 left, and I'm trying to figure out who we have lost. We seem to have lost Skanky. Don't know what happened there. He wasn't having the best of races. And we have Andrew in the pits. So that's a very late pit stop. Something went wrong. He was coming in earlier. So that definitely throws his race. Let's see how the 2 racers of Snakes Unite Racing are doing. They're currently in 3rd position in the Constructors' Championship with a gap of 157 points to Sven Fritz Racing. So if they continue to win races like this, they definitely might get close. And they have just entered lap 22, so that means that there are still 7 laps to go. Scooby in third, 10 seconds behind Benji, so probably won't be getting close, but only 2 seconds in front of his teammate Milton Man 27, Ben Milton. So he definitely has to watch his steps there, not make any mistake. Gaz is still putting pressure on Ben, trying to gain that 4th position. And from there, it's a very big gap to his teammate Liam, who is in 6th place, but he is 14 seconds away from Gaz. And in Jeremy's car, it's raining, or in Jeremy's race. I must say that the 2 new guys are doing pretty well. Here we have Paul Scott, also one of the newcomers, although he has joined somewhere halfway this season. And here is Andrew, a veteran, sadly not a full-time driver anymore, but he joined us again for this race. Had a fantastic pole with a 25.8, but then that contact with Adam through the S's, that just messed up his race and put him in last position. After that contact with Andrew, Adam did fall back a bit, but regained his position and is currently leading the race with only 4 laps to go. As you can see, the gap is slowly getting bigger between Adam and Benji. So he's not putting a lot of pressure anymore on his teammate. 1.5 seconds with 4 laps to go. Back to a bit more back in the field, where Ben is still under pressure from gas, although there is almost a second. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there is a second between him and gas. But for now, it looks like the Godzilla Racing guys are claiming third and fourth this race. And we have lost Andrew as well. So that means that there are only 10 drivers left with little over 4 laps to go. 10 drivers, so every driver will score points. So that is good news for our new drivers, Robert and Doko, which they both haven't scored any points yet. Last week was their first race. They didn't finish either race, so no points for them yet. But it looks like they are getting a few points on the board. Gaz is still chasing Ben. He's not getting very close, but close enough to profit from any mistakes from Ben. And here you can see that the GTR is slowly pulling away at this part of the track. It's just that doesn't perform too well in sharp turns like this one. This is definitely Audi territory. He is getting closer though, only half a second. With 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, here are Adam and Benji going through the final turn for their very last lap in the feature race. And also the GTR drivers and Gaz have entered their final lap. So it's about 1.5 minutes for Ben to keep Gaz behind him and claim that 4th place. And Adam is currently going through the back straight. gas through the S's. Switch back very late. Looked like Ben was cutting a bit. And here they are. Finishing a 1-2. Snakes Unite Racing drivers. Very well done by the two guys in the Audis. And here we are. PS Scooby third. Ben Milton in fourth, with Gaz close behind him in fifth. And there we have it. The field is all getting across the finish line. Can't switch to other cars anymore. Oh yes, I can. And we are with Doko going through the final turns, with Paul Scott very close behind him. And across the finish line. And that's it for tonight. That concludes the feature race. 28 laps at Donington Park, the GP layout. And the winner is RDF1 Adam Morris. And in second place, his teammate, Boyraxa14, aka Benji. Third place is for PS Scooby in the GTR, followed by his teammate, Ben Milton. Gaz is in fifth place, his teammate, Liam, in sixth. Robert G+1 up seventh place. His second race, first points in the championship, very well done. Doko 1983 in eighth place, also scored some points, his first points of the season. Paul Scott in ninth, and Jeremy aka Knight 4001 in the black GTR finished 10th. And that is the race. Andrew, Skanky, and Jamie all retired. So thank you for watching. We will be back in a couple of seconds, or rather minutes, in a new live stream for round 32, the sprint race at Donington Park. That's 14 laps with a sort of reverse grid. So if you want to see some more action at Donington, join us for the sprint race in a couple of minutes. That will be on this same channel, the official Thursday Night GT Championship channel, but it will be a new live stream. So if you want to join us, keep an eye out for it, and hope to see you then. Okay, bye.